Good early evening or late afternoon. I'm putting out something on Sunday. I thought it'd be an interesting time to do it because I usually do them weekday mornings. But then I realized in television, we used to Sunday night's like the biggest night of the week for broadcast. Sunday Night Football is the most watched television program all year. Sunday Night Football consistently. And so we on the newscast, you probably noticed if you were around, I was on Sunday nights, and Julie and Mike, and that was because more people watch. Because you guys get back from the weekend, you go, okay, I just got to catch up. So what I thought I would do is do a weather forecast. This is or for the week. And if you get an opportunity to watch this, which would be sick, or you can go to the chapter selection and pick out the model runs, but we can go through the forecast, and it will hopefully set you up for the week. This is my plan. Hope you had a good weekend. The weather was sick, right? Awesome, awesome weather. Mount Shasta got some snow. How about that? Awesome, right? Look at that. That's a good dusting. That's more than a dusting. That's a few inches, maybe a half foot of snow, even down low here. So very good snowfall. We got, over 14,000 feet. Lake Tahoe, we showed you some pictures on Thursday, and Lake Tahoe was pushing, right, when they're getting snow flurries on Siberia, they're getting snow flurries down in Mammoth Lake, we showed you that, and then this is the result, a beautiful day, and this fall weather continues, which, if you know anything about California, well, if you know anything about anything, fall is awesome. It's awesome everywhere. And it has been awesome here, and it's going to continue to be awesome here. See Black Butte off in the distance. The forecast highs, or the temperatures today, Mount Shasta City, upper 50s, some low 60s, but not horribly, horribly warm. Very, very mild. And this is the fall pattern we are going to take advantage of over the next few days. Let's throw a loop on this, see if it works for us today. And you can just see the clouds coming off, and you see a bit of a break. This is the last hour. Today in Pasadena, you're going to go 77 degrees. Lake Tahoe is going to go 60 degrees. What else we got there? 73 degrees in, where's that at? Can't read that name. I made notes, and then I can't read the notes. Anyway, it's going to be a nice day, but not horribly warm. Here's the fog along the coast. It went away this morning. Marin County, you had clear skies for a while. Coastal sections of Stinson Beach and Bolinas. Santa Cruz, you're clear. A little bit of fog down towards the southern end or the north end of Big Sur. Look at that. Look at that day in Southern California. Oops, didn't want to do that, but I did. Beautiful day down there. Plenty of sunshine. Put a loop on this. There's nothing really staring us down. There is a low pressure center out there that is going to have an impact on us towards the end of this week. The main impact will be clouds, cooler, and back into an opportunity for showers next weekend. So we'll see that in the model runs. Next shot is, let me put a loop on it and I'll tell you where it is. Where is this? Dang. Oh, it's a weird one. This is up at Siberia, up at Palisades. This is actually looking towards the west, looking down towards San Francisco Bay Area. Palisades today is going to go 60 degrees as well, 58 degrees. Beautiful day. The snow is gone, whatever snow was there. But it's funny. People ask me all the time, like, because I use a lot of live pictures, because I think I'm right. The cover charge in California is so high that you got to remind yourself why you're paying rent, right? I mean, this is beautiful. We live in this beautiful place, and we talked about the other day, it's a petri dish of culture, of science, of athleticism, of music, of art, of everything. It just is, and it always has been, and it always will be. And it's a little bit of it's because it's inspirations like this. St. Helena up in the Napa wine country area, just a little north of Santa Rosa and just above Calistoga and those places. St. Helena today is going to go 74 degrees. This is South Lake Tahoe. This has been a kind of a standby shot. You see some alto cumulus clouds. Fair weather stuff, though. Alto cumulus generally a fair weather cloud. And then you see the South Lake, and you see a little bit of wind on the water, which is beautiful. Lake Tahoe is, right, so what did we just do? And now we go to Pasadena. I just had a nice talk with a friend of mine today in Pasadena who grew up in Pasadena. We were talking about Pasadena is awesome. It's very much, it's old school. It's kind of like Leave It to Beaverland in terms of homes and streets, and it's bucolic, if you will. And it's got a lot of interesting stuff going on in Pasadena over the years. So we'll talk about that some other time, the history. This is Mount Diablo. The temperature today in Concord is going to be in the upper 70s, mid 70s. Mount Diablo right here. Concord, of course, right in front of Mount Diablo. If you go down here, that's the Livermore Valley in here. And that's Santa Fe Richmond Bridge. That's Angel Island. What else you got? Oh, and there's the Golden Gate Bridge way over there. You see that fog. I hope you can see it. I don't have to show that fog just creeping in. There's San Francisco as well. So this is a different angle on our Mount Tam cam. These are the temperatures for today. So, right, these are the highs from today because the daytime highs have pretty much already happened by the time you see this. But, 80 degrees or so in Sacramento. Tomorrow's going to be warmer, and that's the trend for the next 48 hours. So he finally gets to the forecast. The next 48 hours, next 72 hours, temperatures are going to tweak up a little bit. Then they're going to come back down with that change in the weather. So we are truly into a fall weather pattern, right? Because we've got this cool down, kind of cool down last week a little bit, right? A little bit of shower activity, a little warm up over the weekend, very fall-like, and then this warm up continues, and then a cool down halfway through the week and into the end of the week. This is today. This is tomorrow's forecast, and you see those temperatures start to warm up. Is fire danger high? Yes, it is, but it is not out of control. We're not expecting big winds or anything. When I see a pattern like this, I go, okay, we did get some rain too. But south of San Francisco, not all that much rain, so a wind would be an issue. So now we're looking for mostly these kind of offshore Diablo winds or Santa Ana winds to develop. We'll keep an eye on that. I haven't seen anything this week, which is awesome. And we do see some rain back in the forecast. This forecast right here, this is for Monday, tomorrow. This is the model. And for vorticity, 500 millibar, there we are. Just kind of benign, but see that little ridge nudging us? Little cutoff low right here. And then you see that guy coming down. See it coming down? Right there. That's it. That's your Saturday event. So we go through this whole week essentially. Here's Monday, Tuesday. We're kind of under a ridge of high pressure, under something we would consider NVA, negative vorticity advection. A little bit of that green represents air that's sinking. So stable. Even though there's a spinner offshore, most of that, the lift area is down around Cape Point Conception. But then watch what happens. This low drops down from the north. And that's pretty awesome. That's a good low. It comes over the water, so it's got some water. Also comes over the land a little. See how it's over the land? It's grabbing some cool air, right? You're the Canadian continent. And then you mix that with some of the moisture you're grabbing off the Pacific, and you've got yourself an extratropical weather system that by Friday should be delivering clouds. And by Saturday and Sunday, something like that. Is it going to happen? We'll see. Look at right behind it too, inside slider, if that happens. So next week, the headline is next couple of days warms up. It's going to be sick fall weather. A couple of days after that, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, clouds start to increase, temperatures start to cool down, and we get into an opportunity for showers. And we'll take a closer look at that using the GFS surface sea level map. Let me get a close-up on this thing for you. I didn't mean to do that. Kind of like to frame these up better. Thanks for bearing with. Okay, so here we are. And kind of just next couple of days. That's actually a little bit of a north-northeast wind. Might be a little breezy up in the mountains up around Mount Shasta. Maybe a little something out by Bishop. This is Monday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon. Dashed lines there, but they're not sinking, meaning that it's not getting cooler, it's getting warmer. They're actually coming up a little bit, right? You can pick that out. This is Wednesday morning. Now they start to drop. See all the dashed lines? That's cold air. Those are thickness lines, the elevation of the 500 millibar level. And the elevation of the 500 millibar level is lower. The millibars is a pressure. So that the actual feet of the column of air, when it gets cold, it shrinks down. The pressure is still 500 millibars here, but the column of air gets smaller, and that's cooler air, and that's what thicknesses are. So these thicknesses, see how close together? That's a cool air advection scenario. Big time. That is on looks like Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And that is in front of this cold front right here. This is, well, let's see. This is Thursday afternoon. A little breezy, onshore, cooler. Thursday will be cooler as well. Not cold, but cooler. And then here comes this system. This is for Friday of next week. And that's a pretty good looking system. See how the cold air? Just picture those dashed lines when they're troughed like that. That's a cold air advection pattern. And breezy, too, up in the mountains. This could be a breezy day. The ice, and the reason I say that is because see those black lines, how close together they are in vertical? The wind generally at the surface blows across those lines, which is essentially perpendicular. So we'll see. We shall see. And then if you want to get really intense, which I bet you don't, but we're going to, is you see the straight lines, the black lines, those are pressure gradients, right? And that shows you that there is a gradient and that they're close together, like a topographic map, and lines get close together. It's steeper. The valley's steeper or the ridge is steeper. So this pressure gradient's steeper, but the wind's blowing this way. Well, look what it's doing. It's taking dashed lines that are at 5520 and pushing those into 5550. It's taking the cooler heights, thicknesses, and pushing them in. So that wind is going to advect. That's what advection is when you're advecting, dragging in cooler air. Okay. I don't know if you needed that or not, but this map tells you a lot. And again, GFS not horribly granular, but we're not horribly close to this date. So I'm more than happy to look at a broad brush as opposed to really getting granular with the HRRR. But look at the dashed lines. So this pattern, it looks like it wants to be pretty chill, if you will. And then that's Sunday morning. So right now, let's go back. So this is the event right here. Friday afternoon into Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon. It doesn't look like much, but I'm seeing the cold air is sort of gives you an indication there might not be a lot of moisture with this because cold air doesn't hold a lot of moisture, blah, blah, blah. Right now, it's hard to say. You know what we should do? Should we do it? I'm going to do it. Thank you for bearing with me. Precipitable water. Let's just do precipitable water and check it out and see what the deal is there. Now, this is where we go sea level, moisture available to these weather systems. So we know the period is, so dry, right? Dry. There we are. Little green, that's on Monday this week. There's those north winds, right? So that's interesting. That's a pretty good north wind on Tuesday morning. Is that sea level pressure? 400 millibars. Okay. Surface 400 millibars. I'm just looking at something, sorry. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we might see a little bit of wind out of this at the higher elevations. So that might be there might be some kind of fire concern in here on Monday night, Tuesday morning. We'll see. But what I'm really looking for is, see the winds clock offshore, and then here comes the moisture. See it's starting to get pulled in, the blue. Starts to get pulled. Ooh, hello. Did you see that get pulled in? Right, and there's the low. This is Saturday night, Sunday morning. Huh. Yeah, so it does. There's not a lot of moisture in the storm itself. This is grabbing from the south. Let's see this. Okay, I hope you're in a mood for this today. If you're not, I'm sorry. But it's kind of fun to see. So now we're going big picture. Let's see where that moisture comes from. So we back out. This is this week. This is warmer, and then it starts to cool down on Wednesday night. Here's the low. This is water vapor again, or available moisture. See that get pulled in? There's a little off low here. That pulls that in on Thursday afternoon. Now there's moisture. See, it pulls in some tropical. Look at that. So the storm itself doesn't have a lot of moisture immediately on Saturday night, Sunday, but it grabs some. And then it gets a nice plug here, but it sort of falls apart. So dynamics are there. Fuel's kind of hitty-missy. So how much rain are we going to get? If it's hit, we're going to get a half-inch of rain. If it's miss, we're going to get a tenth of an inch of rain, kind of like that last system. Okay, so first part of this week, money. Second part of this week, breezy, unsettled, maybe a little fire danger. Not temperature fire danger, but some wind. And then it looks like we might see some rain by Friday night, Saturday, and then Saturday night into Sunday, perhaps. That's an unsettled period, but certainly fall weather in the week. Forecast highs for today. This is the map, California. Forecast highs tomorrow. I'm just showing repetition. So it's 85 in Sacramento tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, we are 85 again in Sacramento. I'm using the Central Valley. And then we are just by Wednesday or Tuesday afternoon, it looks like things start cooling down because Sacramento only gets to, on Wednesday afternoon, 80. So Wednesday begins the cooling with that onshore wind and that cooler weather. So nice fall-like weather the next few days. Things change around the end of the week. Weekend might be wet. I'm not changing my plans, but just be up for that. And then you got these tropical storms down here. That's part of where that moisture is coming from. And then here's the parent low, and things are looking active. Things are looking very active, which is awesome. This is the watches and warnings for today and a little bit for tomorrow. Right here, freeze warnings, and then wind advisories freeze warnings, frost advisories, winter storm warning here. So it's kind of the Intermountain region starting to act up a little, isn't it? Yeah, it's that time of year. And then I got the forecast for tomorrow, forecast highs. And, the high in Billings is only 59 degrees, 56 in Denver. Got San Francisco at 81. It's going to be a nice day. San Francisco, this is the time of year where San Francisco will go 81, Sacramento will go 84, right? This is when you start seeing the microclimates wash a little bit. 94 in Phoenix, and then a little bit of rain down in Memphis and New Orleans. Okay, and then 82 in New York. So look at fall, right? That's just fall across the country. It's perfect. And I always say that I've been Bay Area centric, California centric forever. I'm always like, yeah, fall's awesome. California, you got to be, everywhere's awesome in California. Everywhere is awesome. It is awesome. Everywhere is awesome in the United States in the fall. Alaska's awesome in the fall. New Hampshire, Florida. I mean, right? So I know I would used to be all like, yeah, you got to see the Golden Gate Bridge, Marin Headlands in the fall, and it's nothing like, oh yeah, well, so, check out La Jolla, or check out Mammoth, or check out Salt Lake, or Sun Valley, or Salt Lake City. These are the temperatures are going to be below average. Now that would indicate to me that we're going to see a jet stream shape like trough here, a ridge here, maybe a trough here, right? The ridge is the heat, the trough is the cool. And that pattern would, maybe, it doesn't start till October 11th, but this would be a trough out west, which maybe bring us more rain. We'll see. We did well for rainfall. Remember, not too long last week, we got over 1.5 inches of rain in some places, cumulative. These are above average rainfall potential in these areas. That's not bad. Northeast California, love seeing it. So it's been every day I wake up and look at the models, the temperatures, like today, I'm like stoked that we're not looking at what we used to call, I don't know if I can call it Indian summer and Native American summer. I don't know how to do that anymore, but we used to call it that. And we were stoked for it because it usually meant good surf offshore, and it's just California 90 degrees, but then somewhere along the line, fire became just such a grief point that now everybody's like, oh, please, no Native American summer. I don't know. I'm not being flippant. I don't know if I said, I know you're not supposed to say Indian anymore, which I understand, but I don't know what you would say. Maybe help me out with that one. Native American summer? I don't know. Now I sound ignorant right there. Sorry. But I don't. I'll have to ask my daughter. She'll know. These are the earthquakes that have all happened in the last 24 hours. I believe it's the last 24 hours. Magnitude H. Oh, no, let's see. Let's go up here. This is all the big quakes in the last one day. So you can kind of get a vibe for it. So there's a 4.6 out by Greenland. Not much, pretty quiet. Those are bigger quakes, so magnitude, those are big quakes. Let's go magnitude 5. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll come in here. This is Ring of Fire. Again, we know all about it. I've started showing these because I think it's important that we are all aware where we live and what the possibilities are. In the winter, it might flood. In the summer, we might have fire, or in the fall, or any time of year now. And anytime, year-round, earthquakes. And I read some book. There's a book called, in San Francisco, history book called, like 7 Fires and an Earthquake or something. But San Francisco, essentially, I will get this incorrect, but San Francisco essentially burned 7 times before the Great Earthquake. The fire in San Francisco has always been a thing. That's where the earthquake sort of highlighted that, the 1906 earthquake, which both of my grandparents were in, and I've actually was fortunate enough to talk to them about it when I was 7, 8 years old and get stories the best a kid can understand. Ring of Fire, these are the quakes from today, over 2.5. So those are just California. I did make a mistake yesterday, and I appreciate the catch. Ring of Fire, I said, is responsible for 95% of all earthquakes. It's not. It's responsible for about 70%. It's responsible for 90% of all large quakes, and that's because these are subduction zones on the Ring of Fire. It's called the Ring of Fire because when the Earth subducts below the continental plate or below the eastern plate, it bubbles up magma and volcanoes. That's a subduction. It's the land subducts, it melts, it gets down here and melts. Volcanoes come up, right? And that's what we're looking at. So it's a subduction zone. 70% of the world's big earthquakes happen in here, not 90%. 90% of earthquakes happen in here, but 70% of 70% of the world's earthquakes happen in here. 90% of the world's big, large, spooky earthquakes happen, and that's exactly where we reside. Sorry for the confusion. But you can see up here, east of 5.2 out of Russia again, 5.1. These are big quakes. They had a big one out there a while back, a couple weeks ago, and that kind of tends to keep rumbling. Down here, just east of or west in Guam, 4.4, and then down here, just off of Australia, a 5.0, and then our quakes. And I point to San Diego. There's a couple quakes. This is all just today. There's San Diego. Let's see what they got. Maybe it's not going to show up for me. It's not showing up. There it is. 2.6 Big Bear. This was Hollister, 2.5. So you get the idea. These are all 2.5 and above. It's 2.6 in Ferndale, which is nothing for those folks. Okay, so we did weather. We got it figured out. Hope you're having a good Sunday night. Love Sunday night football. I'm watching football right now. I got a fantasy team that's, it's pretty good. I mean, I got like Baker Mayfield, who's playing well. I've got some, who else do I have? I have Nakoa. Is it Nakoa from the Rams? He's awesome. Got a really good team. Since it's Sunday night, I'm going to check it out. So and I don't know why I care so much, but I do. I'm doing pretty good. I got a 70% chance to win. Mayfield's got 22 points today, and Gibbs came through, my Detroit running back. Okay, then. So I'm looking good. Fantasy football's weirdly fun, especially if you red zone it. I know I'm not a huge sports guy, as you know, but fantasy football's fun. It engages you in the games. Here's the swell. Next couple of days, swell stays kind of medium, but then on Wednesday, Thursday, the swell really pops up right in here, comes up, and then you'll see more swell. This is on Tuesday, October 14th, and that's a pretty good size north swell. So the next few days hold steady 4 to 6. We'll see that out at Ocean Beach right now. Kind of fun. God, this is actually a really fun day out there, huh? Just for the beach. Beach, a little bit of wind, a little textured westerly wind, about 2 to 4 feet at Ocean Beach, I'd say. I will be surfing tomorrow because if you're watching this, I'm going to tell you. I usually don't tell people when to go surf, but tomorrow's going to be good in the morning because the winds are going to flop around, go offshore. Don't tell anybody, though. And if you see me, because I used to do this when I did occasionally I'd do it on TV. This is in the old days. And I'd say something, yeah, surf looks pretty good tomorrow. And oh my God, not death threats directly. I don't think anybody would have killed me, but I was getting calls from all the boys and girls just going, what are you doing? Because TV, right? There wasn't a media platform. TV was how people got their information. And so when I'd say that, a lot of people would hear. And so I would put people in the lineup. But this little channel, like 10 of us, we're going to be fine. But I love all 10 of you, by the way, too. I really do appreciate you guys. The Ocean Beach looks fun. This is Helena, which is near and dear to my heart. Chumash Indian land, bought by Atlantic Richfield and then donated to, of course, they chased off the Chumash, which sucks. They were going after oil. Tip of Point Conception. And then city of Santa Barbara, or the county of Santa Barbara, purchased it and turned it into a park. An awesome park, too. So pretty good swell there. This is Malibu, just out front of the Ringe Estate. And this is Southern California. That good low tide, or good tide pooling, right? Beautiful day. Malibu is just Malibu, man. It's awesome. That's what I was saying the other day. I was talking to Danny Mack today, a good buddy of mine. This is where I got the jacket. His son makes Wilbo clothing. And I like this jacket. But he's the guy who started Olokai, one of the guys who started Olokai, that piano company. And we were just talking about how awesome California is. Look. Oh, Mount Shasta. Oh, Mount Tam. Oh, Napa Valley. Oh, Lake Tahoe. Oh, Pasadena. Oh, more Mount Tamalpais. It's such a pretty place that we live. So I just rapidly did that. So that's Helena. This is Malibu again. And then this is Mount Shasta, which we did just look at, but I thought it deserved a second look. Hope you got big plans. Fire danger is going to be a thing for a while, you guys, until we get the first big rains. But I think we're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. There was snow up here. Remember, these mountains go up over 13,000 feet. So even if it's not snowing in Lake Tahoe, you go, why does Mammoth get so much snow? Because the mountains are really high. Whitney's up over 14. It's taller than Mount Shasta, tallest mountain in the contiguous United States. So it gets snow. Melts a little quicker because it's a little further south, but when it piles up, you can match Mammoth's snow water equivalent to ours, and they usually, not usually, but they will often surpass us because there's more water content in the snow further south. Below average temperatures starting on October 11th through October 15th. I cannot believe it's October. Wow. This is, oh, we already did this. Sorry. I got, jeez. Okay, here we go. Hang on. There we go, Mount Shasta. I don't know how I got there. And there we go. And then there we go. Okay, Bear, Brooks Falls. And one last bear. I did see some salmon jump a little earlier, but it's winding down. And up there, this late in the season, it's coming up on winter. They've already had snow. They're going to continue to they got some flood watches up there right now because I think it's a little bit warm, and the glaciers start to melt a little bit. This is Asheville, North Carolina. This is our weather window. There it is, beautiful day. And that looks and feels like Asheville. I bet the humidity out there is probably, geez, it's got to be 70%, 65, 75%. Just looking at the cloud cover. San Diego, Bay Cam, beautiful. San Diego's awesome. I don't know it well, but I've been down there a bit. This is it's raining in New Orleans. Oh, look at that. That's fun. Taking pictures. This must be a famous spot. That's fun watching people in it. Somebody just got a new baby. Awesome. Okay, we'll do one more just for shits and giggles. This is Naples, Sunset Camera, Naples, Florida. Let's do one more because I didn't like that shot. Here we go. This is Sand Cay Beach, Florida. A little bit of rain. It's beautiful. I can see why people like Florida. It's pretty awesome. Statue of Liberty? Where? I don't see it. Harbor. It's in New York Harbor. Where is the statue? No, there it is. I think that's it right there. It's always smaller than I've never been to the statue itself, so I always think it's going to be look like that building. But I think it's this guy. Okay. I got to go because I'm going to get clicked off here in a minute. In New York Harbor. And I think we end it with Venice. And this is right now where the temperature in Venice is 70 degrees. 70 degrees. Nice day. Okay. It's kind of fun doing this on a Sunday night. Kind of laid back. If you stick through it, that's great. Love your thoughts, good or bad. Tell a friend, sign up, like, comment. I like the comments. Only because when I get the comments, I'm like, it makes me think. Because I'm really, weirdly enough, I'm doing this for myself. I think I've been doing it so long I can't not do it. And I watch them too. I like, oh, that's good. Yeah, I like what he did there. Is that weird? I know. But it's just what I do. I love it. And this is, truthfully, this came about because I'm a meteorologist, but this is how I've always done weather. I just look at pictures, I look at graphs, I look at models, I look at data. And to me, it's a fun, just merger of stuff, right? And how did we get from surf to weather to here, right? It's awesome. Okay, I'm going to run. See you back here.